More than 116,000 Americans lost their lives in World War I. Over 80,000 died overseas from combat, illness, and other causes. After the war, 44,000 were transported home from France and Belgium aboard homecoming ships that brought them back to New York Harbor. From there, they were sent to their final resting places across the country. The May 1921 arrival of one ship, the Wheaton, was chosen for an official national commemoration. 1 week before Memorial Day, President Warren Harding welcomed home more than 5,000 men and women brought back on that voyage and paid tribute to all of America's returning war dead. This May, 100 years later, Homecoming 21 invites you to join us in marking the centennial of that ceremony and remembering the return home of America's World War I fallen. By participating, you'll not only honor our World War I fallen, you'll join a nationwide effort to remember our shared history of service, sacrifice, and loss, and a reminder of what unites us as Americans. We hope you'll join our effort.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dale. I am a Gold Star mother. I am president of the American Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County and the first vice president of American Gold Star Mothers Department of Florida. I originally am from Pennsylvania, but I've lived in Vero Beach since 2008. The founder of American Gold Star Mothers National, her name is Grace Darling Seibold. Her son, Lieutenant George von Seibold, was in World War I. He died in World War I. While he was deployed, while he was serving, she was distraught, and she decided to go to hospitals to visit those who were coming back and who were injured. Other moms who had the same feeling, worrying about their loved ones, joined her. They found out their loved ones were lost. These women bonded together. They kept on visiting those who were sick. They stayed together and they grew. And in 1928, American Gold Star Mothers National was established, and in 1929, it was incorporated. So our Gold Star Mothers date way back to World War I. The practice of hanging banners outlined in red with blue stars began in World War I by an Army captain, Robert L. Quesnar, who had 2 sons serving in the Army. The blue stars were turned to gold stars when the family members were lost. That also dates back to World War I. There's a lot of history in America that many people don't know that dates back to World War I. The basic premise of Homecoming 2021 is on May 23rd, 1921, was the first return of the World War I dead from Cherbourg, France, and Antwerp, Belgium. I was introduced to Homecoming 2021 from an email from National American Gold Star Mothers inviting all the chapter presidents and department members to come to a Zoom meeting being offered by Homecoming 2021. And I became intrigued, and as I listened to what he had to say, we were invited to give our names and where we lived. And they would send us a list of World War I dead, and we were supposed to try to find them through a website and just find out where their gravesites are, were they intact, and check it off on the list and say exactly where we found the grave, the site. He also talked about doing something in your area, in your community, that it would be a nice thing to do if it was feasible. So in my mind, I thought this was a perfect place for me to go because I know Tony Young, who is an amazing historian of Vero Beach and Indian River County. And I thought, I will do it that way. And that's how the whole idea started.
This year, in 2021, is the culmination of a lot of national events that kind of complement each other and is a natural segue into Memorial Day coming up. And as Michelle presented to me, this is the centennial anniversary of the return of the fallen from World War I. And I was naturally interested because of my interest in the World War I veterans and all the veterans on Memorial Island. My grandfather came here before Vero Beach was incorporated. One of the other early pioneers was Alex McWilliam. And from actually before the start of the incorporation of Vero Beach, Alex was here, and as a World War I veteran and as a distinguished diplomat, he realized that he wanted to acknowledge the sacrifice of his fellow World War I veterans. So in the back of his mind, he said, let's plan for a memorial, okay? And so when the Intercoastal Waterway was dredged, the spoil of that became an island, and then as a legislator, that island was sold to Vero Beach and then set aside specifically to pay tribute to those that had served our country. With the centennial celebration of the return of the USS Wheaton, it acknowledges the phenomenal sacrifice that our country made in helping stop the overrun of all Europe by the Germans in the First World War. Also, if you look back at the First World War, you learn of a term called war moms, okay? And moms have never lost their significance. And so Gold Star moms truly are an outfit that, in my heart, and I think the hearts of anybody who gives it any thought, is extremely important. I'll share with you that anytime a soldier goes into battle, they think of their parents and home, and it's not only on the soldiers' shoulders, but it's on their family of those soldiers, whether it's their wives and children or whether it's their moms and dads. The Gold Star moms will be there this Memorial Day, and I salute them, and I think that they are as much a part of our family as the fellow that's carrying an aid bag on their shoulder or carrying a weapon in their hands.
When I began this project, I did not know where it would take me. But as I started to work and find out information on our World War I veterans who are memorialized on Veterans Memorial Island, they are not buried there. No one is buried on the island. They have cenotaphs which honor the fallen of World War I and other wars. And he gave me Michelle Wagner. She's in genealogy at the Indian River County Library, and I worked with her in addition to finding these men, finding their story. I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice, since this is a Sunday and people should be able to attend, let's actually go to the sites where they are either remembered or buried. So when I went and I visited the cemeteries, one in particular, his site, his memorial, was fine, but his family plot had been overgrown, and it just didn't look right to me. And so I got on a campaign and said, we have to fix this. And I wanted the grave sites for this special occasion, the 100th anniversary, to look good and to honor them at their family plots, if that's where they were, in a special way on this occasion. I've ordered 3 white roses tied with gold ribbon bouquets for each cemetery plot where we're going to go with our group, say their names, thank them for their ultimate sacrifice, and place these flowers on their sites. Army Private Faye Roscoe. There are 3 that we won't be able to do that because 3 of them are not buried or memorialized here, except for Veterans Memorial Island. But we will say their names and we will thank them for their ultimate sacrifice to our country. I think it's something, again, in 100 years from now, that somebody will do a ceremony and say my son's name. And thank him. So it's important to me as a Gold Star mother. And the last leg of my project is to hopefully hold myself together and be able to talk about all of this at Memorial Day service on Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary.
Welcome to Memorial Day 2021. This year, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to focus on a time period of World War I. We're going to talk about the guest speaker is going to talk about the creation of this magnificent sanctuary and the thought, lest we forget. As you walked in, you saw the monument, and it said, lest we forget. All across our nation and around the world, our citizens and veterans gather to honor America's finest men and women who gave their lives in defense of our freedom. Because of them, we live in a free society that even our most desperate enemies admire. For us, this is a day of remembrance as we honor our friends and fellow warriors who made the ultimate sacrifice. Alex McWilliam created this island, and it's in his honor that we have asked his great-grandson, Alec McWilliam IV, to read the poem In Flanders Field.
In Flanders Field by John McCrae. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you, Alec. As president of the American Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County, she continues to oversee the process of honoring our Gold Star mothers and families on the Grove. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Dale.
Good morning. I am Michelle Dale. I am a Gold Star mother. I became a Gold Star mother on November 7th, 2010, when my son, Army Corporal Dale J. Cridlow, a soldier in Operating Enduring Freedom, was killed in action in Afghanistan. Everything I do as a Gold Star mother is in honor and remembrance of his ultimate sacrifice to our nation and so that he will never be forgotten. I am both honored and humbled to speak with you today about Homecoming 2021, commemorating the return of America's war dead 100 years ago. 4.7 million Americans served. 2 million were sent to Europe. Over 80,000 lost their lives overseas from combat, accident, or illness. Many of those who enlisted lost their lives before they ever completed their training. Many died after the armistice ended the war on November 11, 1918. Homecoming 2021 engages our communities to remember the World War I fallen, their families, and the sacrifices of the World War I generation. In reviewing the research of our beloved World War I fallen memorialized on this island, I have grown to feel as they are my own. I reflect upon their lives and their eagerness to leave this paradise in order to join the armed forces to serve their country. Many of them, in my opinion, were babies, as they were only 18 years of age. But no, truly they were men of courage who stood up and made the decision to fight for a cause they may not have fully understood, but who realized it was a cause necessary for their country and mankind. The World War I fallen honored and remembered on our Veterans Memorial Sanctuary Island, and their stories are: Aaron Wilson Kemp, apprentice seaman, United States Navy. Aaron Wilson Kemp was born on December 25, 1898, and lived in Quay, which is presently Winter Beach. Wilson, as he preferred to be called, was a young man who enjoyed fishing trips with his friends. He stepped up to serve, and he enlisted in the Navy recruiting station in Atlanta, Georgia on November 12, 1917. Seaman Kemp was among 3 other enlistees, listed as casualties of the day at Norfolk Naval Hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. Wilson, only 18 years old, died of pneumonia on December 14, 1917, 32 days after his enlistment. He is remembered on the World War I Memorial in Fort Pierce. United States Navy apprentice seaman Aaron Wilson Kemp is interred at the Winter Beach Cemetery. Melvin Ora Dills, private, United States Army. Born November 6, 1898, in Blackstock, Georgia. He entered the United States Army on April 27, 1918. Melvin, a 19-year-old who lived in Sebastian, underwent a surgery in order to be able to join the armed forces to serve his country. Dills received his military training at Camp Jackson, South Carolina, where he trained as an artilleryman and was attached to Battery B, 12th Battalion Field Artillery. While in training, he contracted influenza, which later developed into pneumonia, resulting in his death in camp on July 13, 1918. He is also recorded on the World War I Memorial in Fort Pierce. United States Army Private Melvin Ora Dills is laid to rest in a family plot in Dogwood Valley Cemetery in Catoosa County, Georgia. Lonnie E. Hamilton, Private, United States Army. Lonnie, born on January 8, 1895 in Quay, he was inducted into the Army in St. Lucie County on September 19, 1918, and received his training at Camp Jackson, South Carolina. Lonnie was part of Battalion A, 2nd Regiment, Field Artillery Replacement Depot. He contracted the influenza when it struck Camp Jackson and was hospitalized on September 29, 1918. At Camp Jackson, more than 5,000 men were treated for influenza and at least 300 died. He was 23 years old. Private Hamilton is honored in St. Lucie County on the World War I Memorial in Fort Pierce. United States Army Private Lonnie E. Hamilton died on October 5th and is interred in Winter Beach Cemetery. Private Hamilton's great-niece, Peggy Hamilton, is here today in his honor. Fred Evans Woodward, United States Army Air Services. Fred Evans Woodward was born on February 1st, 1892 in Rockford, Illinois. Fred lived in Vero and registered for military service in Fort Pierce on June 5, 1917, at the age of 25. Fred was assigned to Carlstrom Field in Arcadia, Florida. Fred served 22 months in France attached to the Air Service. He is listed in the volumes of the Great War in Florida, for Florida, as a Vero soldier who died of accident. However, in an article in the Tampa Tribune, dated January 14, 1919, it was reported that Lieutenant Fred Evans Woodward returned to duty in 1919. He was commissioned on June 27, 1919. United States Army Air Corps Captain Fred Evans Woodward died of pneumonia on October 14, 1932, and is interred in New York. Levi Lavender Law, surfman, United States Coast Guard, was born September 11, 1897 in Jasper, Florida. When the United States entered World War I, Levi, desiring to be near his family, entered the Coast Guard on September 8, 1917, and was assigned to a station near Bethel Creek. The Laws left their Oslo home and went to live on the island where Levi and his family lived in tents for the duration of World War I, because there were no facilities for men with families. Surfman Law was a member of Coast Guard Station 205 and was accidentally shot by another member of the crew who was cleaning his revolver. He died while in service to his country on August 17, 1918, at the age of 24. United States Coast Guard surfman Levi Lavender Law is laid to rest in Oslo Cemetery. Faye Roscoe Taylor, Private, United States Army. Faye Roscoe Taylor was born at Vernon Center, Mankato, Minnesota, on April 12, 1897. He is honored on the World War I Memorial in Fort Pierce. He is listed in the Soldiers of the Great War as a casualty from Florida. Faye was inducted into the Army on July 29, 1918, and enlisted in the 1st Engineers Casual Company. His engineer training was completed at Camp Forest, Georgia. Faye was a 21-year-old zapper, an engineer soldier. He was then moved to Camp Upton, Long Island, where he remained until he embarked overseas. Army Private Faye Roscoe Taylor died of the pandemic while at sea on United States Army Transport George Washington. In a letter received by his mother, Jessie, Chaplain of the Navy P.F. Blumhardt wrote, "When we arrived at the French port, his body was removed for burial on land. It may be of some consolation to you to understand that his death occurred in the line of duty, and that he actually had come in contact with the enemy, for we passed through the danger zone. Although he died before actually reaching the field of battle, it was not in vain, for his life was given as a part of the cost of transporting his comrades to those battlefields, and they will be inspired by his memory when they get there." At the time of Faye's death, American forces were fighting in the Meuse-Argonne battle. United States Army Private Faye Roscoe Taylor died on October 12, 1918, at the age of 21, and was buried in France. One of the first to be returned to the United States after the war, His body arrived on United States Transport Mercury in Hoboken, New Jersey, and was returned to Fellsmere on July 22, 1920. He was buried in Brookside Cemetery, Fellsmere, on July 23rd. His mother, Jessie Taylor, received his World War I Victory Medal in May 1921. His grave is complimented by a Gold Star for military service. Private Taylor's story touches my heart and brought back many memories for me. My son Dale was also a zapper, an engineer soldier. I experienced the pain his mother felt knowing her son died in a foreign land and waiting for his return to the United States. What I cannot fathom is the pain she lived for nearly 2 years waiting for her son, Army Private Faye Roscoe Taylor's body to be returned home to her. John Morris, Private United States Army. Born on July 4th, 1895 in Montgomery, Alabama. John Morris, an African-American, lived in Vero. Morris enlisted on April 25th, 1918 in Fort Pierce, making him 23 at the time. On July 10th, 1918, he was given overseas duty. John was part of the 366th Infantry Regiment, 92nd Division, the Buffalo Soldier Division. The 366th Division was an all-black outfit which served with distinction in World War I. The regiment fought with the French in the Lorraine and with the 1st Army Corps in the Meuse-Argonne. In October of 1918, it was reported that John was wounded, but the degree was undetermined. He was listed on the Florida World War I Honor Roll in October 1918. United States Army Private John Morris died of pneumonia on December 12, 1918, and is buried in the Saint-Mihiel American Cemetery in France. Felix George Popple, seaman, United States Coast Guard. Felix was born on January 6, 1899 in Perry, Florida. Felix enlisted at Fort Pierce Recruiting Station on April 17, 1917, and became a member of the crew of the United States Coast Guard cutter Tampa. Under the command of Captain Charles Satterlee, the Tampa served as a convoy escort, protecting ships carrying Allied war material in European waters. On the evening of September 26, 1918, having just completed another successful escort mission from Gibraltar to the United Kingdom, the Tampa broke off from the convoy to head toward the port of Milford Haven in Wales. At approximately 8:45, a torpedo from a German U-boat struck the Tampa and it went down with the loss of all hands. Felix was 19 years old when he gave his life in service to our country. United States Coast Guard seaman Felix George Popple is memorialized on the tablets of the missing at Brockwood American Cemetery in England, the United States Coast Guard Memorial in Arlington National Cemetery, the Tampa American Legion Hall in Tampa, the World War I Memorial in Fort Pierce, and the Felix George Popple American Legion Post 39 in Vero Beach. He is also remembered at his family plot in Winter Beach Cemetery. On Veterans Day 1999, at the Coast Guard's World War I Monument in Arlington National Cemetery, United States Coast Guard seaman Felix George Popple's distant cousin, Ralph Popple, and his wife Connie, and other relatives of the crew members of the Tampa posthumously received the Purple Heart Medal for their loved one's sacrifice on September 26, 1918. On August 7, 2000, Ralph Popple arranged a special ceremony at the Indian River Terminal, port of Fort Pierce, aboard the 4th Coast Guard cutter named Tampa. At this ceremony, he presented the Purple Heart to the Felix George Popple American Legion Post Commander, bringing the United States Coast Guard, Felix George Popple, and his ultimate sacrifice to full circle. Ralph Popple, Felix George Popple's distant cousin, is here today in his honor. And on Sunday, May 23rd, 2021, in conjunction with an official 100th anniversary ceremony in Hoboken, New Jersey, the World War I fallen who are remembered today were also honored in short ceremonies at the cemeteries in Indian River County, where they are buried or memorialized. Many gathered to say their names and remember their ultimate sacrifice to our country. 3 white roses tied with gold ribbon were left at the sites in their memories. White roses in celebration of their life. Gold ribbon because they and their families are gold stars. When you are leaving today, please note that there are 3 white roses tied with gold ribbon also left at the memorials here on the island. Please stop, say their name, and remember their ultimate sacrifice to our country. I am honored and grateful for the help of so many who came together to bring this Homecoming 2021 100th anniversary of our World War I fallen to fruition. In conclusion, please notice the statement at the bottom of your program. When can their glory fade? We will not let their glory fade if we remember to honor them every opportunity we have. Say their names. Remember their ultimate sacrifice to our country. God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave.
My name is Tammy Thurber. I'm a Gold Star mom. My son, Brandon Michael Thurber, died at the age of 18 on November 10th, 2018. Never forget our fallen, because they're the reason we're here today and we have the freedoms that we have.
I'd love to say a lot of, just briefly, what has already been said. Michelle, the Gold Star mothers, and each one of you that have served in the military and have had, excuse me, loved ones that's given their life for our country. It is an honor to have them remembered by everyone. So on behalf of the Gold Star mothers and all of us, I just also want to echo the thank you for each one of you.
None of us would have ever visited this gravesite, well, a few from the Legion, of course, but many of us that are here today would have never been here to see this. None of us were born when their lives were lost, when their lives were sacrificed. And I'm wagering to think that maybe some of us wouldn't be here at all had they not sacrificed their life. And that's coming from me to you, who has sustained the ultimate sacrifice. And I want to say that this has epitomized, we will never forget. And we will honor, and we will say welcome home even if it was home to be laid to rest here in Indian River County. But thank you.
You know, it's so important that all of the contributions of our veterans and the men who have served, men and women now, who have served in the military are remembered. So I think it's the responsibility of each of us to make sure that the children within our scope, the younger generations within our scope, appreciate and understand the sacrifices that have been made in order for us to have what we have.
This day was just a phenomenal day in order to take the time and honor the World War I veterans and those that had given their lives from Indian River County, especially those that are honored on Memorial Island. So Michelle Dale did a wonderful job, and I just want to say thank you to all of those that turned out, especially the representative from our Indian River County Commissioners, as well as the Sheriff's Office.
Americans need to know, and Americans don't know. Many Americans don't care. Sad to say. But we need to know that freedom is not free. It's the veterans, it's the fallen, who gave us our right to protest, who gave us our right to degrade the flag, burn the flag. That freedom was given by those who fought and those who died and those who honor the flag and honor America. And America needs to know this. We as Gold Star mothers, veterans, need to group together and almost re-educate many of us. And it's vital. If you look at our history throughout the nation, we've had ups and downs, and we're in a down. We need to bring us back up, honoring our fallen, honoring our veterans, first responders, and so on. It's important. It's important to America.